all robots, guys. I was walking a little while and I had this couple behind me, and ironically they were talking about Cheesecake Factory. You know, that's the place I always talk about, like the robots are thinking about. And like they were so close to me, behind me. I mean, they could have walked around me. They could have did a lot, but they were sticking right behind me. And like usually I'll move, but I'm like, I want to see how long these motherfuckers will go up my ass crack before they realize. Well, but they're not. They're not going to realize because they don't have that sort of. They can't think that way. They're on a track. You know, I've explained the track problem. There's like this street here. There's 3 tracks here. One here, and one here. When people get on them, they stay on them. And they don't like changing. It's hard for them to move the tracks. There's an area up there near Longs where you can kind of come off the street into this area where there's like some flower bed. I don't know what the fuck you call this thing. And I bet if you got like heat signatures and looked at that with some kind of heat signature camera, I guess, what you would see is you'd see all the people were just on that straight line, and very few people go up into that little alcove. It's right, it stays alongside the street. I go and stand in it a lot when I'm usually ending a video. I'll go over there and stop there because I know no one will go over there because I know they'll stay on the tracks. But yeah, man, this is just so crazy. This happened a few minutes ago. Just this guy and this lady talking about Cheesecake Factory, which again was funny. And they were so fucking close to me, like just talking and right behind me, not trying to move anywhere. And finally, I'm just like, I just stopped. They almost run into me, and then they go around me, not missing a beat. No sorry, no anything like that. No one ever says they're sorry. It's almost like those little vacuum cleaners that you keep in the house, the Rumbas. They'll hit a corner and they'll just dip, go right around it. It's just, and before that even happened, I was just getting these really eerie feelings. I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm alone out here or something. I mean, there's tons of people, but I'm just it's a weird feeling, you know. I know there are other people that experience this kind of thing because, you know, I talk to them about it. And there are like real divine beings out here, but they're sprinkled in. I mean, you know, sometimes I can tell when someone's like a real person. It's funny, I'm reminded of that stupid plane thing again with that woman screaming how he's not a real guy. Yeah, I still think that's some kind of psyop, some kind of work. I just haven't figured out why it is. But someone mentioned being predictive programming to tie in with this with that Secret Invasion Marvel show or something. Not as advertisement for it, but usually when they do stuff like this, when they're trying to get some kind of message across or some kind of thing, if they're talking about, you know, a virus, around the same time, what will happen is movies about a virus will pop up. Like, oh, this happens all the time with Netflix shit. Oh, there was a shooting at this place the same week Netflix released their movie, and not just like a general thing, but a very specific thing. I can't, of course, think of any examples now, but what was the one I was thinking of? The most recent one, I don't know. There was one where something was happening in the world, and the same week it happened, they had a Netflix movie about it. So they put out movies and shows that are kind of like the psyops they're doing, like all around the same time, because it's a spell, right? It's spellcraft, and spells need components. Like the witch needs the ear of Newt and the bat wing. They need to put certain things in place for their spell to happen. So these are all components of the spell. You know, they want to get people to think a certain way or to feel a certain way. And it's probably not hard considering what I walk among out here. It's fucking unbelievable, dude. Some of these people, like, they're just gone. Like, they're really fucking robots. I don't know. I don't remember this being like this years ago. And I've spent time in a lot of major cities. You know, been to all the real big ones on the mainland. This place is a little bit different just because it's like, you know, it is kind of its own thing. It was its own nation. It still is, really, as far as I'm concerned. This is occupied territory. The U.S. government is like, I'm not playing a game with this car. I'm going to wait for him to go. I don't do those games with cars or people where you're both heading to the same place and it becomes a game. It turns into who the fuck am I? Like, are you going? Are you going? Are you going? You know? I don't do that. I just stop, pretend I have no interest in going that way. I was going to do this. You develop these little things, you know, as you go along. But yeah, they're doing some kind of spell. They're preparing people for something. You know, people have been talking more about Bluebeam. I was talking to some of the nons about that on X today. I was telling my story yet again of Bluebeam when I saw it right up here. Right there where my finger and cigarette is pointing. It was up there. Mountains in the sky appeared at about maybe 5 or 6 o'clock at night. It was summertime. I was walking Nia to work. She was doing the night shift at that point. And above the mountains that were always there were this other set of mountains that didn't look like the mountains here. It was pretty crazy. I came out, as soon as I walked out to the end of my walk, I'm like, what the fuck is that? I thought it was a mirage or something at first, but a mirage of what? And, sorry, I'm trying to fucking, had to buy another lighter. You know, a mirage of what? When I had the pictures, back when I had the pictures, I was showing them to everybody. A friend of mine said it looked like it was kind of, the mountain range looked like it was the major highest point. He said it looked like it was mountains from every different island. Like a, what do you call that? A collage of the mountains, like they were clipped out and put together. Maybe that was used for the basis for the image. But nobody cared. Nobody cared. There's one guy that was fishing over in the LOI, which is pretty dangerous, I would think. And he's over there, just, he's kind of looking at it, you know. And I'm like, that's weird. I don't know. I think I said that's weird or something to him. And he was like, yeah, it's weird. And then that was it. That's the only person I talked to about it. Nobody else was looking. Nobody else looked at it. Nobody else cared. You know, me and Neil were looking at it, and I'm like, just, what is that? And she's like, I don't know. Like, what the fuck is that? I was freaking out, you know. And only later did I really even think about Bluebeam. Now, we have Pearl Harbor up the street here. We have Port DeRussy up the road here. This basically, this is an army base, this fucking state. Or at least this part of the state is anyway, this island. But from what I understand, from what I've been told, and it could be wrong, they have a lot of super sneaky secret squirrel projects here because it's not on the mainland and they have more freedom to do stuff. And they do experiment with things on the other islands. They were bombing an island, like, was it 5 or 6 years ago? They were trying to do some detonations, and it caused a big stink. They got caught somehow, but they were doing a drill, they said. You know, people thought the fucking volcanoes were going off. Oddly enough, though, it was around the same time later is when we had those storms that came in here, and the volcanoes were going off. That's a whole nother story. I stumbled into something pretty crazy there. Me and a friend of mine found a guy online who was he was a meteorologist, or used to be, and he was tracking the volcanoes, and he had determined that they were being set off in like a system, like charges. It was weird, and he was kind of scared. He was like, yeah, you know, this is like, I'm bringing you this information, and he's just online. You you know, and I don't know what could happen to me if someone caught me doing this and that. It was kind of crazy. And then, of course, we ended up seeing him again. He vanished. I guess it vanished too. But yeah, so that just, you know, they do stuff like that here, you know, because I guess because it's far enough from the mainland, you know, less oversight. I don't know, but yeah, I have told this story so many times. I'm not going to get into it again. The Bluebeam story, and then was it last summer? No, it was more recent than that. They had that display in the sky of these like green lights that were appearing in a grid, right? Not in that area, but a little further down. Actually, I don't know if you could see them from here at all. I'm trying to think of where it was. I did a video about it though. It appeared on the news. People saw it and were like, "What the fuck is this?" And I looked at it right away. And I'm like, "Oh, that's fucking Bluebeam." Because what they do is they lay down a grid to project it on, and it's green, and that's what was in the sky. So I was pretty sure, and this is from what I understand. I don't know for sure. So I was thinking we were gonna see like another Bluebeam thing happen like shortly after that, but we didn't. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So I don't know, but at any rate, yeah, there's always shenanigans happening here with that kind of stuff. I think it's, again, because it's so far from the mainland, and a place like Pearl Harbor can do stuff like that, or they have the, you know, the lack of oversight to be able to do stuff like that. But yeah, robots, Bluebeam, got everything going here. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.